Hi, Kevin here. Today I wanted to show you one way to make a moist and delicious pumpkin bundt cake. And the first thing you need to do is preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then grease and flour a 12-cup capacity, 10-inch diameter bundt pan. This is just a cheap bundt pan. It weighs like almost nothing, but it works really well for this cake. And the easiest way to grease and flour the pan is to spray it with baking spray. You can buy this in any supermarket. Baking spray contains flour. All right, then we're going to whisk together some dry ingredients. All right, so what I have here is 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Into the flour, I'm going to add 2½ teaspoons of pumpkin spice. Then add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Try to get all of that out of there. Also add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And a ½ teaspoon of salt. And just whisk the dry ingredients together. Just want to combine them. Whisking is much easier than sifting the ingredients. All right, dry ingredients are complete. Let's move on to the wet. Now, I'm going to mix the wet ingredients in my KitchenAid mixer, but you could absolutely use handheld electric beaters. Okay. And what I have in the mixing bowl is 2 sticks or 226 grams of room temperature butter. The butter needs to be soft at room temperature. Into the butter, I'm going to add 2 cups of dark brown sugar. You could use light brown sugar if that's all you have on hand. And then I'm going to hook up the paddle attachment. Oh, and I wanted to tell you, the paddle attachment that came with this mixer, it was like a painted on coating, some kind of enamel coating, and it was actually rubbing off at the top. So I was afraid that the coating was coming off into whatever batters I was mixing. So I went ahead and ordered the stainless steel paddle that goes with the KitchenAid. Then I don't have to worry about anything chipping off. All right, and then we're going to cream the butter and sugar together for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to start the machine and then I'll come back when this is nicely creamed. Okay, we're nicely creamed over here. And I did find my old paddle attachment and I wanted to show you what to watch for. I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, this coating has been had been chipping off, and I'm sure into my cake batters. So this is something you should plan to replace if you have the same paddle attachment. And you can buy the stainless steel paddle right on Amazon. All right, so now we'll lift this up, and then we're going to add 2 eggs, 1 at a time. Guess I didn't have to lift that thing up. Here goes 1. Just beat that in. When you add ingredients, you always start at a slow speed, and then you can boost the speed. And we're in there. Here goes the next egg. And just watch. If you see that the batter, particularly the butter, is sticking to the walls of the bowl, just scrape it down. And I'm going to do that right now. And again, you do not have to make this batter in a standing mixer. Electric beaters will work, or you can do what I always did when I was in my 20s and had absolutely no money, but I had an appetite, and that is to use a wooden spoon. I have had this spoon for decades, and I used it to cream butter and sugar together many, many, many times. You get a lot of exercise that way. Okay, we're mixed in. Now, I'm going to add the key ingredient, which is 1 15-ounce can of pure pumpkin puree. Yeah, I made the same cake last night, and I didn't lift the tilt portion of the mixer, and I tried adding the pumpkin puree. It went all over the place. On my clothes, in my hair, all over the counter. So I learned, stop the machine and lift the tilting arm. Okay, we're all in there. Going to beat that in very quickly. Once again, scrape down the walls of the bowl. You guys, this smells terrific already. Scrape off the spatula so you don't lose anything. Continue beating for just a few moments. Okay, then I'm going to add a half cup of sour cream. Yeah, this is a very moist, very fragrant cake. It looks and smells like an autumn day. Speaking of which, today is a very beautiful autumn day here. The humidity is gone and the sky is clear. Just really nice outside. Perfect day for a pumpkin bundt cake. Scrape. Scrape off the spatula. And mix just briefly. All right, we're good. Now, have to add the dry ingredients, and I'm going to add them gradually. Move this up so you can see. So mixer at the lowest speed. Yeah, you don't want to overmix once you've added the dry ingredients. You could even fold in the dry ingredients with a spatula if you like. So I'm just adding a large spoonful at a time. Also, if you have the mixer at a too high speed, when you add the dry ingredients, they will fly up in a cloud of, well, of everything you wanted to go into the batter. Do this very quickly. Okay, we're mixed. Scrape off the paddle. This is a really luxurious batter. It's thicker than the usual cake batter would be. Detach this thing. Wipe my hands. And then give it one good final mix just with the spatula. I'm going to use a folding motion. This way I can be sure that there's no flour stuck to the bottom of the bowl. Look at this batter. Really beautiful. Okay, let me fetch my Bundt pan. All right, I had to hook up my paddle again because I forgot the one final ingredient, and that is a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. So I'm just going to beat this in. We're good. Just drop my whisk. Okay. Now, here's my pan, and I'm going to spoon the batter into the pan. I tried doing this with a spatula last night and it was a little tricky to do. So I think spoon works better. Let me move you in a little closer. This way. This is real live baking here. I no longer edit my videos because I want you to see everything, even my boo-boos. Let's keep it real, okay? Scrape off the spoon, and then I'm going to just use the spatula to scrape out any batter that remains in the bowl. And then just smooth out the top. You want to make sure that the batter is fairly evenly distributed throughout the pan. And this looks pretty good. Just going to clean up the edge over here. All right. Then this goes into the preheated 350-degree oven for 55 to 60 minutes. You'll know the cake is done first when your house smells like pumpkin spice, and next when a skewer inserted between this tube and the side of the pan, like right here, when that skewer comes out clean, then the cake is done. And last night's cake took exactly 55 minutes, so that's what I'm going to set my timer for. All right, we'll be back when this gets done. All right, here's the cake, and it did bake for 55 minutes. It smells divine, and it did puff up more than the cake I made last night. So I'm going to test this with a skewer. Yep, skewer came out clean, so the cake is definitely done. All right, I'm going to let this cool on the wire rack for 15 or 20 minutes, and then I will unmold it onto a platter. We'll be back. All right, it's time to unmold this bad boy. So I have a pedestal cake stand over here. What you do is put the platter or the cake stand over the Bundt pan and flip to invert the cake, and then say a prayer. And there it is. Gorgeous cake. All right, now about icing. You could, once this cake cools, you could ice the cake, you could glaze it, you could even frost it. But in all honesty, the cake is so moist and it's already really sweet that icing or glazing the cake kind of seems like gilding the lily. So anyway, if you want to ice or glaze, go right ahead. I'm not going to. Although maybe I'll just scatter some confectioner's sugar over it. And of course it has to cool to room temperature before you can slice it. And let me show you why that is. Hang on. All right, so here is the cake that I made last night. And of course, I was in a rush to eat it because it smelled so dang good. But let me show you what happened. So the cake had not cooled to room temperature yet. And so when I sliced it, you can see I had many slices, right? Anyway, when I sliced the still warm cake, it didn't cut very cleanly. So it has this, can you even see? So it has this rough crumb over here. Now, what I did was put a bowl over the cake last night, and I let it sit out at room temperature, and then this morning for breakfast I cut a slice from this side, and look at how cleanly it's sliced. So yeah, definitely let the cake cool to room temperature. And since both of these cakes are the same and this one is cool, I'm going to have a slice right now. All right, here's the cake and some café au crème. Coffee with heavy cream. Look at this. This has a beautiful crumb. Now for a taste. This is so delicious, you guys. And of course, this was not my first taste of the cake, all right? I've had several slices, and it's a kind of cake that freezes very well. So with this cake over here, when it's totally cool, I'm going to cut it into slices, and then I will put the slices in a freezer container. And then whenever the mood for pumpkin bundt cake strikes, I'll just take out whatever I need, let it thaw at room temperature or on defrost in the microwave, and I'll have a dessert. All right, thank you so much for watching. I will post the ingredients and the directions in the description box below, and you may need to click the Show More button in order to see the directions. All right, thank you so much for watching. I wish you were here to enjoy this cake and the coffee with me. All right, again, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, bye-bye.